Okay, so here we are live. Amazing women get it done. I'm Marsh Engle, and I'm here today with Conni Brunner. We were just laughing and saying, I don't know if you knew or not, but Connie and I did it was a year. We did a broadcast,
Yeah,
Voice America Women, and had a blast doing that broadcast. It was a podcast. It wasn't video, but Connie, you can see, is sitting in her backyard. Oh, that's a good idea. I bet you're starting a watch party.
I am starting a watch party.
So I
got to get to your pitch.
Start watch parties. Let's do this because this is a incredible conversation today. I've been thinking a lot about you and all of the empaths that are possibly feeling some overwhelm. So I wanted to bring some good ideas.
Yep.
The last few weeks, I've been focused on our body, our wellness, our well-being, and whatever that, all the different modalities. Last week we had did you catch that one, Connie, with Jay about breath?
Oh, I love Jay. He did a workshop at my studio. Love him, love him, love him.
I do
love
too.
Him.
And
He's
I've
the best.
been I know that a lot of you've probably seen me posting about breath work. Posting about breath work. We're live. That's okay. This is a life experience broadcast.
That's it.
But I've been doing a lot of breath work as my part of my spiritual practice. But even more importantly, the breath work brings me very present to creativity. And I don't know if I shared it with somebody. I did an interview with someone yesterday, and I was talking about how breath work, I actually was able to download the full chapter that I had been struggling with writing for my next book. And through breath work, it cleared the space where that new creativity, that new answer could come through. So I'm just inspired about breath work. But today I want to just talk about everything you've been up to. You're in your garden. You're connecting with the earth. You're connecting with nature. You're grounding, and you're creating like a wild woman. I know that you have a new membership site that's launching. You have online programs you're teaching. I know you're doing meditation courses and classes, bringing people together. And that was a fast pivot too, because you were doing everything live and in person, just as I was. Bravo, and thank you for paving the way with all of us that decided to go virtual very, very rapidly and landed on it. So catch me up. Just catch me up with everything good that's been going on, and then I want to get into some practices that we can do.
Okay. Well, the world got put on pause, and I really woke up with this feeling one day. There has to be something I can do. There has to be something more. I know we're on pause, but what's my skill set? What's my wheelhouse? And I'm telling you, we turned it around in 10 days. By 10 days, I was sending daily videos to people's phones, little workouts, inspiration, meditation. And then I had classes, virtual mat classes. And for me, we have been going now 13 weeks. I mean, that's incredible. And, I haven't done this much mat in 20 years. You kind of get out of it once you start practicing. So for me personally, it's been fantastic. I will never forget it. And the other thing is with time on my hands, I came out to my garden and I looked around and it was in need of some love. And so my daughter and I kind of started to dig everything up. And at the early part of us all being isolated, there wasn't much places you could go and get stuff except for our little hardware store down the street. And they brought in plants and we started buying and recycling everything you could see and using, old tires and old digging out old tree stumps and putting plants in. And we really turned my backyard into just an oasis. And I come out here for inhalation and inspiration. And so I come out here and breathe and meditate. It's where I solve my problems. It's where I daydream again. I mean, I look up at the clouds. That's something I loved to do as a kid, and I haven't done that because I was busy, right? I'm busy. I've got to do this. I got to do that. No, there's no time for that. And all of a sudden, all this stuff that I didn't have time for has filled me so much. So many ideas came out of it. As you said before, from my starting these classes, I recorded everything and I'm building out a membership site site called Absolutely Grounded, because I feel that I have personally had to both be grounded again to my body physically in the work I teach, and then also in the earth. I'm compelled to be outside and to make things look beautiful. So
we could all use grounding right now. I was just talking earlier about just amping up my spiritual practice and doing the breath work that I've already mentioned, but movement. And this morning I found an incredible teacher online for classes in dance. So this morning I took dance classes. It's amazing, but I jumped out of bed and, I meditate. I'm an early morning meditator. And then I jumped out of bed and did this dance class that really got me into my body. And it's amazing to me. And you preach this, you teach this, you tell me this all the time, but the more we can get into our body, the more creativity we can have, more focus we can have. So it's that, it's really about doing what we can do to support the physical body, which then also supports the emotional body, which also supports the spiritual body. And then, of course, the big payoff is our mental clarity. We can really focus in on what is the most meaningful and matters the most to us and what we really stand for. And I, said earlier today that Amazing Women, we have so much good work to do. We need as much grounding as we can possibly find. And I think, years ago, one of my mentors said, you better have a very strong spiritual practice. And I could not, at the time, this was many years ago, I couldn't quite understand what she was saying to me, as many times when people will say something to us, we almost have to grow into it. But as time has passed, I've seen without a spiritual practice, and spiritual practice could be a dance class. It could be meditation.
Oh, absolutely.
What we're doing, time in nature. Give me some more ideas about how we can get more breath into our body, how we can get more energized, how we can get more focused.
So focus breathing, always take us back to that focus breathing, inhaling for 2 counts, holding your breath, and exhaling for 2 counts. So when you get to that, it brings you right to presence. Even like 3 or 4 breaths that way will bring you right back to presence. And, we're talking to empaths. And I think with all of the Zoom that people are doing and workshops and stuff like that, there has to be a place where you step back. Because I don't know about you, but in the beginning of this, I was on this workshop and I spoke here and I was speaking all over the place.
So many interviews.
Fantastic, which fantastic. But came a place where I hit the wall and I realized I had to take a step back. And so my step back is, again, being out in nature. And being out in nature can be taking a walk around the block. It can be going to the store and finding a little thing of herbs and planting it and watering it. It doesn't have to be a big thing. And I think in this time, especially because everyone's isolation has closed us down, it's the little things that really bring us so much joy.
And for a second, I'm just going to interrupt for a second because you said something earlier that I think is so important because there's so much, as empaths, we're incredibly sensitive to fears of other people. We're incredibly sensitive to the emotions, the sadness, the grief. We go through a range of emotions. Many times it might be our own that we're processing, but also it could be the processing of others as well, and feeling deeply, feeling great depth of emotional quality that we're picking up on. And what you said that I want to bring us back to is breath, even that. So tell me what that looks like, because if we as empath encounter fear, or we encounter any kind of energy that is feeling like tense or tightness in our body, just show us what breath looks like so that we can know to call on our breath anytime that we might be feeling.
Okay. So the first thing is I'm going to say, sit with the discomfort. In that discomfort is where your path out is. So many times people want to just get past it. But I think this has brought up, as you said, a lot of fears and stuff pulling in from other people. So if you can sit with that discomfort, and we'll just sit and do it really quickly right now. So sit all the way back in your chair. Your feet are on the floor. You can keep your eyes open or closed. And you're going to inhale, hold, and exhale. And again, inhale, hold, and exhale. And again, inhale, hold, and exhale. One more time. Inhale, hold, and exhale. And you sit back into your body, because the fears, the discomfort, the things we want to get away from make us run. And with the breath work, it brings us into presence, and we settle down, we ground, going down into our root chakra. That's what we're always trying to get back to. Sitting, a lot of people, okay, so we're spending a lot of time sitting. Okay, so we need to think about that. And so that, and then also just the breath, the I am breath, the so hum breath, is inhaling up to your top of your head and then exhaling it down. So inhale with so, exhale with hum, which is just I am. Inhale and exhale. And then after a couple breaths like that, you can say, I am powerful. I am flexible. I am grounded. I am peaceful. I am secure. I am safe. All the feelings you want to have.
We are. Speak the truth of it. We are all of those things. But when a wave of fear comes along, and I'm just going to say, I'm underlining and highlighting breath because it's such a simple practice that we so often forget.
Absolutely.
We overlook it. It's so simple that we overlook it. And to bring us present to remembering the truth of who we are allows us that focused confidence to be able to take those next steps. And I know right now, everyone listening has an idea that they're looking to act upon. I know they do, because we all do. We're filled with creativity all the time. It's either our next step in the program that we're developing, it's the next step in the business that we're developing, it's the next step in more self-care, it's the next step in focusing on our nutrition, it's the next step on getting into that movement class that we've been thinking about doing, like I did this morning. I've been talking about it for
I know.
This morning, I thought, you know what, I'm going to dance. And I just danced in my apartment, here. I just, in my place, I just cleared the space and just danced. It was like, oh my God, so much energy.
Because we need everyone's light right now. We need everyone's light to show up and not be worried and have those fears keep you down. Now is the time to shine the brightest that you can shine.
Yes,
that's
and I'm remembering that. And I do a lot of study. And right now I'm in depth of study. And in that depth of study, I'm constantly reminded that we have been chosen. We chose here at this time. And it's so important. Don't you imagine how important that is for us to remember that? If I've chosen to be here at this time, it also means I've chosen to share a message or be present for, or speak the truth, or impact a life, or inspire transformation and change. There's something for, and it's up to all. Of course, my focus is on with women to bring their purpose. I have an incredible program right now where I'm working with transformational teachers and leaders that are taking their work up to the next level. So they've already been leading communities. They've already been teaching programs. They've already been writing books. And now they're finding that they want to take it up to the next level. How about you? Have you felt that you've been called, or are you finding new ways to speak about your work in ways that really feel different and new for you?
I don't know about different and new. I just know that when this went down, I was called. It's like, your number's up now. And there was no hesitation. There was no like you, I know you feel this way too. The whole video thing, I wasn't really doing a whole lot of lives or video or making videos. We have all these stories. I didn't care. I don't care. I don't care. I just think it's my job to show up, give the information, and allow people to find what they need, because you make incredible leaders, because you're my mentor also, and have pushed me to do the deepest and best work that I can. And I just feel that, I started teaching my meditation, Monday night meditation on Zoom. I think I will never stop doing it. It's
Never.
the opportunity for everybody, instead of people just coming into the studio. And same with my classes, my virtual classes. I have people in New York, I have someone in Canada. It's an opportunity for people to come and work with me. So, I mean, I think it's just been amazing. It has been amazing. Have I had dark moments? Of course I have.
Well,
of course I have.
I mean, and we would not be alive if we weren't feeling deeply into the darkness, of what the experience has been. It's been a very, really a deep healing that's been taking place. And I don't know anyone that's not been or impacted in some way. And I'm very, very conscious of that and mindful of that, and have spent a lot of time contemplating how can I best serve. If you don't mind, I'm going to speak out the expansion I've seen in you as a teacher. I see massive expansion in the way you're owning the fullness of who you are. So the teacher is there, but also the spiritual guide is now there. So there's a part of you that's been called out that is now bringing your work out in such a beautiful, powerful, incredible way. And I think that's what that urgency is like. Okay, you've been anchoring this, you've been studying this, you've been growing this, you've been feeling this, and now it's time for you to speak it out into the world and find your audience, let your audience
find you. Yeah, no, I mean, years ago, you told me you're a spiritual teacher, and I was like, what? I teach Pilates. I mean, who knew? But, as you say, a mentor, a teacher can see you steps ahead of where you're going to go. And I was like, whatever. But I hung around, right? I stayed with it. I worked with you. I've listened to you. I've learned from you. My writing has changed. I really believe it's wisdom from the garden. This garden was here to teach me so much stuff.
That sounds like the title of a book. Wisdom from the garden. Oh my God!
That's it.
Great. Yeah. Book of parables of what you've learned through the garden.
It taught me patience, right? So you plant a seed, you water it, and you're like, the next day you're not a flower yet, right? So for some things we have patience. We have patience in the garden, and you almost forget about it. And then you go one morning, you come out, and you're like, oh, it's starting to grow. Oh my gosh! And I know we're no different. But we forget that. We forget that. I always tell people it's the small steps you take day in and day out that make a huge difference. You can't lose 100 pounds. You can only lose 1 pound at a time. You can't move your body. I want to be a CrossFit trainer. You have to do the slow, steady steps. And you have to take care of your body with the foam roller. My other passion's the foam roller and the myofascial release balls, or a tennis ball. So I teach people that, how self-care, okay, you can't be with me right now, so let me teach you self-care that you do every day. And if nothing else, if people don't have a foam roller, and here's the crazy thing, everyone has one in their closet. Oh yeah, I never knew about that. If you would lie down on your foam roller vertically, your hips at one end and your head at the other, and just lie down like that, opening into extension, taking the heart.
I have a foam roller.
Oh, well, we got to get you one.
I don't think I do have the ball. I have the ball you gave me, but it's reminding me to grab it out of the cabinet and put it to use. It's doing me no good in the closet, right?
Exactly.
It's a foam roller. Because
I'm into
this. I want to be as present.
I do a lot of I did a foam roller class today in my class, and everybody is like, it makes you feel taller, it makes you feel longer, it makes you feel connected to your body, and it's like it's so easy. It's an easy thing to do. There are thousands of exercises you can do on it, but I don't even care about that. Just to lie down on a foam roller and relax, huge. So we'll make sure we'll get you one. I'll send you one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's so good. So I love that. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and then, because we're sitting so much, if every hour you could get up from your desk. So my husband's working from home, my daughter's working from home, my son's working from home. That's a full house.
Use your watch for your timer to get up every hour? Is your watch
Oh, well, I'm up.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
mine tells me when to get up. Mine's like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah, it's a stand. Yes. Yes.
it says, okay, time to get up,
Stand.
time to walk, time to do fitness, time to.
Yeah.
I
And
even
here's
have
the
it
thing.
where it tells me to breathe because sometimes,
Yes.
yeah.
No, I do a whole exercise program with a chair. So much of the stuff I sent out because everyone's in their chairs. What could I do? I'm like, here's a million things. Up and down. Okay. I've got handles here. I'm doing my triceps. Okay. One foot in front of the other. I'm going to flip this down just so you can see me, baby. And I'm going to stand up and sit down. That's my squat. Do 20 of those, right? Switching legs, 10 on each leg, and do 2 or 3 sets. Now you've got 30 squats, right? Standing up, number 4 stretch. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. So it's like a number 4. That's going to stretch my hip. I know we worked with that with you doing both sides.
Recovery.
So
I
mean,
am very proud of my flexibility now. I was the other day. I was noticing how much more flexible. Everybody knows I had a surgery that impacted my flexibility, and everybody may not know that's watching this, but I did. I had an intense surgery, and Conni was helping me. And I was in tears because I said, I'm never going to get my flexibility back. And the other day I was working with my flexibility in the exercises that you showed me and taught me to do.
Right.
And I thought, boy, Conni would be so proud of me with how far my flexibility returned. It's really good.
And so you were worried about it before, and somebody can't say, okay, in 3 months, see, this problem doctors have. They say in 6 months you should feel better. And then someone comes in to see me and it was like 6 months ago, I'm no better. I'm like, forget that. Forget the time. Your body heals.
Yeah, and the hardest thing you said to me was, I said, will I ever get my flexibility back? And you said, you may not. And the minute you said that, it released the need to have to perform to get it back. And I just naturally let it come back. I naturally stayed with my movement. I stayed with
and you took your attention off the seed growing in the ground. Okay, you took your attention off of, all of a sudden one day you're like, oh, it's better. I'm better. I mean,
it's like,
look, I can reach down and get something, and I didn't before. And so that's what I've done. I've made videos on gardening, how to garden and not hurt your back. You know, what do you have to do? You've got to use your quads and your glutes, right? So you have to use a different part of your body because gardeners are the worst, right? Because you got to get the weeds. You have to deal with everything. Okay, that's a given. But how do you do it and keep your body healthy? And have some fun. I mean, I think that's
earthing. You know what I'm talking about? Earthing, when you walk on the ground barefoot, and you bring energy up through, Mother Earth into your body. And I don't live where I can do any earthing. I live in a very cosmopolitan buildings and a lot of concrete where I am. But we find today I took a walk and went over, we found dirt, like real dirt. This sounds crazy because I live in a place that's primarily concrete. But we found a place where we could go and just walk on the dirt, and we could find, we went to a park last Saturday and walked on the grass. And so there is a place, we have to, it's like a conscious effort. Like, okay, I've got to go find, I've got to get out of my shoes, put my feet, my bare feet on the ground and absorb energy so that I can stay more present, so I can energize my body so that my body can function at a higher level. I can get more clarity, and I'm not trying to pull in energy from all sources. I'm sourced and fully connected. And
But know that you can earth on the carpet, on the floor in your home. That it's opening your feet. Make pretend these are my toes. This is my feet. Opening those feet and really planting them down and standing up, and then slowly lifting each little toe up and slowly putting each little toe down.
Now, what does that do? What does it open the energy channels, or what does that do?
Yeah, it opens up your energy channels. First of all, it's great. I'm going to just take my shoe off and just show you. Here's my foot, right? And so when we deal with our feet, when we love on our feet and we separate each little toe and we move our foot around and we flex and point and we get that foot, the foot is so complex. When we stand on the ground and we lift the toes, first of all, it gets us more grounded with ourselves. It pulls the energy in and up. And that's how our walking, right? Our walk the ground to our foot, to the ankle, to the knee, to the hip, to my hips, to my mid back, to my upper back, to my neck, to my head. That's how everything shoots on up. Now, of course, it's involuntary. We don't think about that until something goes wrong, until I have neck pain, until I have this pain. How can my foot impact my neck? Because we are connected from the top of our head to our toes through the fascial lines. Okay, fascia covers our body. It's like a wetsuit covering our body. And only starting in 2007 did they start recognizing that this was an important part of anatomy. They used to dissect bodies and throw the fascia away. And then they started to realize, wait a minute, that's connective tissue. That speaks. So right underneath our skin is our fascia sitting on top of the muscle. Okay. That gets tight, stiff, because we haven't moved. We haven't had enough water. We haven't hydrated ourselves. And that gets stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. So let's say you go to have surgery. A surgeon is cutting through and it's dense. It's hard. It's like cement. Whereas a child, like your beautiful grandson, both of them are facile and moving and always moving. They're going to be super soft. So we want to keep this body moving. So think of the feet as important as your hips, as your glutes, as your back, as your neck. We want those feet to be really active and moving. And most people just don't even think about that.
Well, I think we've talked about two things today that we often forget. All of us.
Yeah.
The importance of breath and the importance of paying attention to our feet. Being out in nature, connecting to the earth with our feet, barefoot if possible, breathing through and breathing constantly, even if we're not feeling any kind of discomfort or tightness. Make a continuous, I don't know how often, I think it's maybe every hour, my breath.
Yeah, I think so.
Comes on and says, I'm breathing, just even for a minute, like you showed us how to breathe today. It doesn't take, you don't have to do an hour-long breath session. You can do breathing throughout the day. Just stop and notice. And back in the day when I first started my spiritual studies, is a long time ago, I noticed that when I was present, I was breathing. When I was in fear, I was holding my breath.
Right.
And I created this practice of just noticing, am I breathing? Am I breathing? Am I breathing? Am I breathing? And Conni, it would shock you, maybe not, that I noticed so much of the time I was not breathing. And it took a constant practice.
Right.
So before we say goodbye today, I want to make sure people know how to find out about you and how to find these classes. I think you have a new one coming up. I want to make sure everybody knows how to find Conni Ponturo. It's absolutepilates.com, right?
AbsolutePilatesUpstairs.com.
Okay, say that again.
AbsolutePilatesUpstairs.com. And on that,
to connect again? Is that the best way to connect with you?
That's the best way to connect with me. Or they can text the word self-care to the number 26786, and you'll get daily workouts and inspiration and very short, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes workouts to your phone. But either way,
somebody's writing this down right now.
Okay, SELF-care, the word self-care, to 26786, and you'll get my you'll sign up and just put in your cell phone and your name, and you'll find my workouts. But you can also find it through my website, how to take virtual classes. My mat classes are open to everyone. And then Monday night meditation. My classes are $5. My workout classes are $10.
And tell us, I made it a couple minutes left. Tell us about the meditation classes, because you teach in your meditation yoga nidra, correct?
I teach yoga nidra, which is sleep-based guided meditation. So we set you up. I mean, it doesn't get any sweeter than this. Pillow under your head, something under your knees, a blanket on you, an eye pillow or a scarf if you want. You don't have to. And it's guided meditation. So I'm talking with bits of space, and you drop from the thinking mind into your heart. It is a beautiful practice, especially for people that are like, oh, I can't meditate. You don't have to do anything. The hardest thing is trying not to fall asleep. And it's a beautiful practice to both teach and to be part of. So I do that Monday nights at 6:30. Again, you can be anywhere and tune in. That's also on my on the site. And then follow me on Instagram, Conni Ponturo. Follow me on Facebook. And website, my membership site should be up and running in about a month. So that will be very exciting. Then you'll be able to work out and do Pilates all the time. I'll also have practices that you can do myofascial release. I have workouts with a foam roller, with weights, with a pillow, with hands. I did it all. We did one in the frying pan, in the kitchen. I mean, you can do any. There is no excuse. Moving your body is moving your body. Loving your body is loving your body. And loving your body is truly how you begin to love your life.
Oh, I love that, Connie. I'm going to leave us with that. I can't think of anything more beautiful to say goodbye to than that beautiful quote that you just left us with. So I thank you, everybody, for joining in. You know, I'm here every Wednesday. And the last few weeks, if you go over to AmazingWomanNation.com, you're going to find a link there that's going to take you to all the shows. So you can watch all of the streaming broadcasts. And the last few broadcasts, I've really focused on how can we get present in our body? How can we expand our creativity and build a higher vibrancy? Because I know we have some good work to do in the world, and we need to be as present as possible and as grounded as possible so we can take a stand for what we know we stand for. I'm sending you big love. Thank you, Connie. I love your garden. It's gorgeous. I cannot wait to see you for lunch. We'll have a garden lunch.
Yes.
For sure. Okay. I'm going to talk to you soon. Sending you big love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.